Hello and welcome to the third Men's Supa-Liga Round 4 match of the weekend. We have the West Coast Cobras in the green kit against Andinos FC in the white. Our team lineups for today for the West Coast Cobras, we have number 1, Tom Robles, number 9, Luke Ross, number 45, Jamal Yusuf, number 11, Omid Ashragian, number 7, Lukman Syed, number 95, Halil Russo, number 23, Vincent Longo. Number 13, Connor O'Driscoll. And for the Andinos FC, we have number 71, Jorge Escobar. Number 8, Oscar Gongora. Number 10, Alejandro Sarria. Number 4, Nicholas Serrano. Number 1, Jaden Ashmore. Number 7, Cesar Perez. Number 18, Simon Lizana. Number 5, Luca Bagomi. And the West Coast Cobras quickly creating a chance for themselves, and a reply shot by the Andinos FC, number 10, Sarria. And play restarts with the West Coast Cobras now. It's a very fast-paced game early into this first half. Both sides having a few chances, and just like that, Sarria puts one away into the bottom right-hand corner, slipping it past Thomas Robles. As we can see here, Russo loses the ball. Great little turn and gets past Ross. Just like that, Andinos FC are up 1-0 within the first 2 minutes of this match. The West Coast Cobras gonna have to calm down their play. It was a little bit hectic in that first 2 minutes, probably contributing to the goal. Great ball down the line by Yusuf. O'Driscoll can't keep that in play. Gongora. Back to Gongora. Serrano to Sarria, and his ball intercepted by Ross. O'Driscoll sends that one too far out in front of Jamal Yusuf. Sarria rolls the ball back to goalkeeper Ashmore, and he sends it high. Gongora can't get on the end of it. West Coast Cobras are going to quickly counter. Ross bringing the ball forwards. Yusuf back in the middle for Ross. Sarria again. Dispossessed by Russo. Russo looking to go past Gongora, and he gets his toe in. Referee's calling it for a West Coast Cobras ball, and I dare say I think I saw the last touch come off Gongora on that instance. Ross brings the ball in the middle. Flicks to O'Driscoll. Yusuf makes an excellent driving run forwards. Ashmore comes out. Gongora 1v1 with Ross. Russo's done well. Gongora's shot blocked by Ross. West Coast Cobras are looking very threatening in their build-up play, and then just giving away that last ball, and the Andinos FC, as we've seen in previous weeks and seasons, are extremely dangerous in their counter-attacks. This is exactly how they scored their first goal in the first 2 minutes. Serrano's ball blocked by Russo. Russo puts it on his right. He's left-footed though. Nice slide there by Serrano. Sorry, is going to be asked to move back. And Silas, referee Jonathan Silas just warning Serrano and Sarria that if they're not 5 meters on the next ball, he will give them a yellow card. Ross looking forwards, a flick over the top for O'Driscoll, and Ashmore coming out again. He's been doing very well, sweeping in that last defensive third. Ross having a talking to by Jonathan Silas. Didn't quite hear what that was about. I think perhaps descent. Russo on the side ball. Ross will shoot. Skies that one over the bar. Escobar's now on the court for the Andinos FC side, and Perez just stepping on for Serrano. Escobar flicks over the top. Yusuf happy to shield that one and hit. Great turn by Jamal Yusuf, and O'Driscoll's got time and space. Russo comes away with the ball. The West Coast Cobras looking to play a bit of a flat 4-0 here from halfway. Russo making a driving run forwards. Yusuf gets around Saria. That's an excellent touch and turn by Yusuf. Russo out on this left-hand side, and he's put it on his preferred foot. O'Driscoll couldn't quite get to that ball at the back post. Russo stepping off, and Eshragian stepping on. A new signing for the West Coast Cobras this season, previously playing for the Middle East Eagles in the Winter Supa-Liga. And that was a great touch by Eshragian. Perez had just beaten O'Driscoll in that run. Ross sends over the top for O'Driscoll. He couldn't quite bring it down, but he's won a side ball deep in his attacking half. A chance here for the West Coast Cobras to score. Eshragian holding the ball up against Perez. Dispossessed by Bagomi. Perez bringing it forwards, and that's a great intercept by Ross. He will shoot. That one's in the side netting. I think there was a touch there. Yes. Touch just off the fingers of Ashmore. Eshragian at the top. His ball intercepted by Escobar. Bagomi has time and space. Escobar looking forwards, has Bagomi on the left, plays him in, and he can't keep that one in play. Ross to Yusuf. Forwards for Eshragian, bit of miscommunication there.
Oscar.
And Escobar goes back to Perez. Lizbarza, flick over the top for Escobar. Lizana, sorry. Escobar down the line. And a shot and a second goal by Nicholas Serrana. See here again. Andinos FC win the ball, and within 3 passes they've got the shot off and put it in the back of the net. And Lukman Syed on the court for the West Coast Cobras side, as well as now the number 23, Vincent Longo. Yusuf, Eshragian against Perez. Eshragian gets around him. And Longo can't get his shot off with the pressure from behind by Lizana. Perez, Lizana. Perez again with the shot. He skewed that one left of the post. Longo out wide to Eshragian. He has time and space. Syed in the middle. He's being pressed. And he plays Eshragian, who gets pressed by Serrana. Perez does well to keep that one in play. Ashmore now being pressed by Syed. That's great pressure from Lukman Syed, forcing Ashmore to play the ball out of play. And we will see 3 on, 3 off for the Andino side.
It's so lucky.
Ross, his ball's too long. And timeout called for the Andinos FC. Leading 2-0 with 10 minutes left in this first half, and the West Coast Cobras are looking a little bit rattled. They're doing very well to get possession and move the ball around, and then they're just giving away silly passes, and the Andinos FC are doing an extremely good job of punishing them for any ball they lose. I think out of every turnover we've seen at least a shot from the Andinos FC side. And Serrano being battled by Longo, and the pressure forcing the Andinos FC side to play the ball out of play. Ross now driving forwards. Syed being pressed by Gongora, and Gongora's done well. Gongora will get his shot off 1v1 with Robles, and that's great save by Tom Robles. Corner ball's been awarded to the Andino side. Oh, and that's an excellent shot by Bagomi, just curling out to the left-hand side of the post. Looks like Robles might have got a little touch on that one. It's going to be another corner ball for the Andinos FC side. Saria, Gongora here. Yusuf does well, and he wins himself a side. Apologies, that was Eshragian. Wins himself a side ball. Ross to Syed. Andinos FC are starting to press half court now. They don't really need to put the pressure on the West Coast Cobras side at the moment. They're up 2-0, and Gongora steps in at the perfect moment against Longo. And he slips another one just past Tom Robles. Another goal resulting from the breakdown of a West Coast Cobras attack for the Andinos FC side. They're doing extremely well, winning these balls and converting. The West Coast Cobras might have to change something if they're going to get themselves into this game before half time. Ross on the ball, out wide to Longo. In the middle to Russo. He's done well against Serrano. Shot from Longo to the back post, and Eshragian has missed a sitter at the back post. He'll be kicking himself for that one. It was a good chance to get the West Coast Cobras on the scoreboard. Little back roll from Bagomi. Serrano's his ball intercepted by Russo. He's being pressed by Saria, my apologies. And that'll be a West Coast Cobras side ball. This one's deep in their attacking half, and they can definitely score from this one. They most certainly want to get a shot off. Ross, bit of miscommunication. miscommunication with Longo. That ball's rolled out of play. Kicking by Serrano. Gongora flicks over the top. Touch off the head of Longo, but Seria will flick over the top of Robles. An excellent fourth goal for the Andinos FC side, and the West Coast Cobras are really struggling to get themselves into this match. And that was a great flick forward. And Saria was just standing at the back there with no one marking him. Not quite sure which of the West Coast Cobras was falling asleep on the court there, but I dare say whoever it is will watch this match back and be a bit upset with themselves letting that fourth goal slip past them. The timeout was called by the West Coast Cobras side, and I think it's definitely needed. They're going to have to change something. I think we all know what my opinion would be at this point. 4-0 down. There's 7.5 minutes left in the first half, and they're doing exactly what I would have done. They've got Luke Ross in the flykeeper jersey, and he's going to play the fifth man. It's a good idea by the West Coast Cobras. They've been playing the way that they would normally play, and they're just really struggling today to break down the Andinos defense. Andinos having to drop back. Ross needs to move the ball a bit quicker. Yusuf, great little touch. Ross again all the way out to Syed, and Syed's looking down the line. Yusuf's in the middle, and that's a poor pass from Yusuf. Luckily for the West Coast Cobras, Perez couldn't get his shot off there. Yusuf, Syed. Yusuf and the West Coast Cobras have pushed Andinos way back into their defensive half. This is some great fifth man play, and that was an excellent dummy by Russo. Side ball being awarded to the Andinos side, and the instructions from the West Coast Cobras bench are that they need to press. And they force the Andinos to play long. Gongora can't get on the end of it. Ross will restart play and make his way up the court as flykeeper. Yusuf again controlling the fifth man play. Fixo at the back there. Ross waits for the pressure from Bagomi, plays across to Yusuf, takes a touch inside. Syed, Yusuf, and Ross can probably touch and shoot here. He's taking his time on that one. Oh, Yusuf definitely could shoot. Shot eventually comes from Ross, and it's blocked by Bagomi. And that's a poor touch from Yusuf. And they might be punished for this one. Ross makes his way back. Yusuf. Sure. And apologies, we're just being informed that there are internet issues with our stream, and we apologise for that. As play continues on here, we have just under 4 minutes left, and the West Coast Cobras are still playing their fly keeper with Luke Ross. Syed plays wide to Yusuf O'Driscoll, flicks forward, and Ashmore will shoot, and he skewed that one. It's out for a side ball by the West Coast Cobras. Ross plays in, and Syed brings the ball forwards. Ross across to Yusuf, and that's a corner ball for the West Coast Cobras. Oops. Tend to disagree with that decision. I do believe that was a corner ball. Potentially my angle was wrong here. Yusuf plays Syed. Ross. Down the line to Russo, and that's back in the hands of Ashmore. He'll take another shot. And he sent that one right again. He's getting closer though. Yusuf bringing the ball up. Ross on the right. Across to Yusuf. West Coast Cobras potentially just need to move the ball a little bit quicker in their fifth man. They've definitely got a good opportunity to catch the Andinos off guard, sorry. That was a great shot by Yusuf. I think it went through the legs of Escobar there. Touched at the last second by Ashmore. O'Driscoll back to Ross. Across the court to Syed. Russo with the shot. That's a great shot by Halil Russo, and an excellent save by Ashmore. Ross. He sent that one over the bar. West Coast Cobras will have to press again here. Yusuf will gain possession. Oh, and Russo was expecting Perez to take a touch on that one. Great touch by O'Driscoll. Syed sends O'Driscoll in, and there's a 2v1 going forwards now. Russo's going to have to get back. The free kick's been awarded to the Andinos FC for the push in the back by Russo on Cesar Perez. Ross is stepping off the court, and Tom Robles back in goals for the free kick. And the free kick taken by Bagomi. Great save by Robles, and that'll be a corner ball for the Andinos FC side. Taken by Serrano, Perez. Serrano being pressured by Yusuf. And the shot from Perez blocked by Eshragian. Bagomi on the side kick. Escobar gets the ball in the middle of the court. And it's back in the possession of the Cobras. Oh, and the play, a little bit too quick by Yusuf there. He had time and space. Again has time and space, pressed by Escobar eventually. Ross is back on the court. The Cobra's going to have to press nice and high here. Ball over the top. That one's rolled out of play. Shrug into Ross, and the Andinos FC defense retreats back past halfway, setting up for a fly keeper of the West Coast Cobras. Yusuf, Syed down the line to Ashragian, can't get past Serrano. Eshragian. Syed, Eshragian, and again Serrano putting in the block there. Ross with the ball at the top. Plays Yusuf. And that's a corner ball for the West Coast Cobras. Ross again. Looks to get past Escobar, and that's a great block. Will be a corner ball. We've got 4 seconds left on the clock here, and West Coast Cobras are going to have to take the shot. Ashmore over the top. 1 second remaining. And that is the halftime whistle. We'll be back in just a moment with some of the halftime stats for you. Some of the halftime stats in front of me here. The pass count, 188 to the West Coast Cobras and 103 to the Andinos FC. And the possession, 58% to the Cobras, 41% to Andinos. Passes completed, 80% to the Cobras, 69% to the Andinos. And just reading those stats and looking at the scoreboard, you wouldn't think that the Andinos would be winning 4-0, but as I've said multiple times, they're doing a really great job of just efficiency, winning the ball, having a couple of passes, and then putting it in the back of the net, whereas the West Coast Cobras are doing some long build-up play and just losing the ball at the last second. And that's when the Andinos are punishing them with their counter-attacks. Shot there from Syed. And that ball's out of play. Ross. Yusuf. Ross again. Yusuf. Bring the ball in the middle. Ross, and they've got the Andinos really deep in their defensive half, which is exactly where they want them. Eshragian looking for the ball in the middle, and Serrano sends that one just left of the post.
In a 2-2, chill out. At the top with Luke. In a 2-2. In a 2-2. In a 2-2. We don't want to be in a diamond. In a 2-2.
The West Coast Cobras are changing up their fifth man play, and that was a great chance there. Eshragian again at the back post, just couldn't quite get on the end of that ball from Yusuf. Excellent touch from Longo. Could have been a bit of a problem for the West Coast Cobras if Bagomi had received the ball with that much time and space. Ross makes his way up the court. Syed plays Ross. Longo out on the right. Longo on the ball. Has Yusuf down the line. Great touch inside and then touch out. And that was an excellent back heel touch Eshragian. All the way back to Syed, and he's missed the touch on that one. Ross with the shot. That's a great shot from Ross, and Eshragian does extremely well there to stop the shot coming from Ashmore. Potentially a yellow card offence as he wasn't a metre outside the D, but if the refs aren't going to give it, I would keep doing it. And I think the free kick's called for the West Coast Cobras here. Yellow card shown to both Lukman Syed for the West Coast Cobras and Alejandro Saria for the Andinos FC. The West Coast Cobras did get the free kick in that instance. Syed down the line to Ross, back to Syed again. Longo looking for Ross, and that's a stray pass. Syed has time, goes back to Ross. Syed again. Syed in the middle for Yusuf. Back out wide for Longo. Ross. Syed. Eshragian. And that's intercepted by Saria. Serrano's ball blocked by Syed. And Lozana was in a lot of space there, and that's exactly how the Andinos FC scored their fourth goal. The West Coast Cobras defence switching off. Saria. Perez. Saria again, and he's pressed by Longo, and I'm not entirely sure. I saw a foul there, but the referees have given it for the Andinos FC side. Perez, slide there from Longo. And that one was definitely a foul. The foul's been given to the West Coast Cobras. Syed's going to have to be careful. He's already on a yellow card. O'Driscoll. Back to Russo, and there's a big gap in the middle of the Andinos FC defence here. Russo will shoot through it. Great save by Ashmore. He's having an excellent game today for the Andinos side, preventing the West Coast Cobras putting anything in the back of the net. Ross plays out to Russo. O'Driscoll. Russo. Ross. O'Driscoll. Yusuf. He can't get through Serrano. O'Driscoll on the kick in. Plays Ross. O'Driscoll again. Leaves the ball for Yusuf. He's found himself in the middle of the court. Longo. Russo. And Longo will shoot, and that is great goal. The West Coast Cobras finally put themselves on the scoreboard with just over 14 minutes left of the second half through Vincent Longo. And West Coast Cobras again pressing. Great slide by Longo. Saria on the side ball. Serrano can't get past O'Driscoll. Flick over the top by Serrano. Perez, little back roll for Saria. And Russo comes away with it. Perez blocking his run forwards there. Ball over the top, and Seria with the shot. Ross does well. For someone who's not a goalkeeper, that's a good save from Luke Ross. Perez flick over the top. Ross is going to have to keep this one in, and he does. Plays Longo. Oh, Ross can't touch that ball again. It's out of play. That ball from Longo just needed to go to Yusuf instead of Luke Ross. And I think maybe wasn't quite aware. I believe this is only his second Supa-Liga match. So maybe just not quite in tune with all of the rules so far. And that is a Andinos FC side kick in, taken by Perez. And Yusuf has come away with it. We got a 3v2 forwards. Longo will get a chance to shoot again. That's a great save by Ashmore. Having an excellent game today.
Hit the ball, no shot. Hit the ball.
If I had an MVP pick in this match, I think I would definitely give it to Jaden Ashmore of the Andinos FC. Ross is stepping off the court, and Tom Robles stepping back on. And Robles back off. Ross now on the court. Russo back to Ross. Russo again. Has Ashragian down the line. Wants to bring it in the middle for a left foot shot. Yusuf flicks to O'Driscoll. That's a good touch by O'Driscoll. Ross again. Russo will get the shot. Ashmore gets on the end of it. Seria. And O'Driscoll just putting his foot out a little bit late on that tackle. Andinos FC with the free kick here. Ashragian touches up, but it falls to the feet of Saria. Ashragian. Russo. Ashragian. Saria flicks to Escobar, and that ball's sent out of play. Not quite sure what happened there, but Ashragian's having some words with Jonathan Silas. He's not happy with one of the calls that was made. Ross showing the frustration as the time's clicking down. Corner ball being awarded. Yusuf on the ball. Ashragian. The Andinos FC trying to get any side kick in that they can get, and the referees are having none of it, and that is a great shot by Serrano. And it's back to a 4-goal deficit for the West Coast Cobras as soon as they get themselves back into the game, and the Andinos FC return with another goal, putting them 5-1 down. Ross. Oh, that's a great goal by Russo. West Coast Cobras returning instantly. Will be super annoyed that they gave away that 5th goal. They could have closed the gap, but now they're just back to where they were a minute ago. And they've got 3 goals to score with 8.5 minutes to go, and Perez sends the ball forward for the run of Escobar, and it's rolled out of play. Ross against Escobar. Gets the ball down the line to Eshragian. He can't get past Serrano. Russo, again, potentially yellow card worthy, blocking Ashmore from playing the ball out. Ross to Syed. Ross again. Out wide to Russo. He has O'Driscoll down the line. Goes back to Ross. Finds O'Driscoll this time, and his touch inside is a little bit poor, and the slide tackle from behind will be called against Omid Eshragian. And foot race here between Russo and Bagomi. And another late slide by Eshragian. Looks like Perez is in a fair bit of pain here. Oh, no, Perez isn't stepping off the court. Seems like he is fine. No, he is indicating he would like to sub. Serrano sends that one wide. As Ross steps back on the court for Robles. And the West Coast Cobras continue their fifth man play. Russo, Ross. Russo, touch inside, and that shot is extremely wide from Halil Russo. Ashmore, forwards for Gongora. Falls to the hands of Ross. He plays out quickly to Russo. There's still just under 6 minutes left. Plenty of time for the West Coast Cobras to make up 3 goals, but they have been really struggling so far in this match to put anything in the back of the net. Russo, Ross. Russo again, trying to move the Andinos FC defense around. Eshragian, back to Ross, has Russo on the right. Eshragian again. Russo, and that's a bit of a big touch there from Halil Russo. West Coast Cobras being extremely patient here. Don't want to give the ball away. Oh, and Ross's ball hits the back leg of O'Driscoll, and he can't send it goal bound, and now Escobar's breaking away. A great slide by Russo. Corner being taken by Escobar. Serrano, pressed by Eshragian and Russo. Ball's gone out of play. And that's a timeout for the West Coast Cobras. Just having a look at some of the stats. During this timeout, the West Coast Cobras, 293 passes to the Andinos, 154. The percentage completion, 82% to the West Coast Cobras, 70% to the Andinos FC. And West Coast Cobras, 57% possession to 42% Andinos FC. Of course, the West Coast Cobras possession percentage is going to be higher when they're playing fifth man. They're moving the ball around very well. They just perhaps need to move it a little bit quicker, open up those gaps so that they can get their shots away. The Andinos FC are doing extremely well defending their fifth man play and not opening those gaps for them, not letting them get any of those shots off. Side ball will be taken by Longo. Syed bringing it up.
Now show in the middle.
Ross down the line to Yusuf. Back to Ross. Ross will shoot. Yes, he will, and he sent that one over the bar.
Yes.
Been a few of those this match from Luke Ross. Ashmore plays out. He's looking long for Bagomi, but it was intercepted by Yusuf, and that was a great touch by Longo, apologies.
Work now.
Escobar gets the ball out
No foul.
to Bagomi. Foul eventually given away by Longo.
Watch the fouls. Watch the fouls.
And the West Coast Cobras have just conceded their 5th foul. As everybody knows, any fouls by the West Coast Cobras from now on will result in a 10-meter penalty for the Andinos FC side. Ross, another shot blocked by Gongora.
Vinny, no fouls.
Syed, Ross, Longo, brings the ball inside. He gets his shot off, and that one's into the side netting.
Cross. Who's on who?
And timeout has been called by the Andinos FC side.
Never umpire fouls. Do not give away any stupid fouls, especially when.
And we are back from the timeout called by the Andinos FC side, and play will reset from the hands of Ashmore. Plays long, and definitely a free kick given away by Serrano. Ross plays it quickly to Russo. Back roll for Syed. Ross again being pressed by Serrano. Yusuf, he's in the middle. He gets his shot off. And that's a 3rd goal now for the West Coast Cobras through Jamal Yusuf, I believe, scored that one. See here on the replay, it was an excellent movement by Yusuf as he saw Serrano was being a little bit undisciplined defensively, stepped all the way out to him. Yusuf punished him for it. Now the West Coast Cobras only have 2 goals to make up if they want to take any points away from this match, coming back from a 4-0 down in the first half. Just entering stop clock territory now. Definitely still plenty of time for the West Coast Cobras. And the free kick's been given the way of the Andinos FC. And Andinos FC choosing to take the 10-meter penalty rather than the free kick where the foul was committed. And the free kick taker will be Nicholas Serrano, and he puts that one in the back of the net. Robles looking extremely disappointed with himself on that one. And now West Coast Cobras back to 3 goals down. Ross back on the court for fly keeper. Longo to Ross. Ross sends it to the back post and it deflects off Russo, Yusuf and Syed, and none of them can send it goal bound. Ashmore trying to play long, and that one slips past Longo. Finds Saria. Longo does extremely well there. Little touch to Russo. Has Yusuf. Russo again. No, he sends that one to the hands of Ashmore. Saria can't get past Syed. Syed back to Ross. Longo. Longo will shoot in the middle here. I think Ashmore sent that one out of play. Corner ball. Longo. Back to Russo. Ross. Russo. Syed. Being pressed by Saria. And Bagomi came in to help that one, and Longo gets it somehow to Jamal Yusuf at the back post, and that is definitely going to be a card for Nicholas Serrano. It is stop clock time, so it was definitely unnecessary. There was no need to try and get the ball away from Syed. He wasn't saving any time. No. And Saria being pressed by Russo. Great ball over the top by Bagomi. That was blocked by Russo. Syed, a nice little touch there by Syed. Russo will take the left foot shot. Flicked over the bar by Ashmore. Ross. Russo. Ross again. Russo with a left foot shot, and he sent that one wide. 15 seconds left on the clock. Syed bringing the ball forwards to Ross. He's looking for Longo at the back post, and he sent that one in behind. And the Andinos FC bench clapping Luke Ross for that one. Slightly poor sportsmanship there. And that is the full-time whistle. And the Andinos FC take away the 3 points. A valiant effort by the West Coast Cobras side, coming from 4-0 down in the first half to 6-4 in the second. The Andinos FC, of course, getting those 4 goals in that first half, punishing the mistakes of the West Coast Cobras side. And the full-time stats here on the screen, as you can see, 406 attempted passes for the West Coast Cobras to 241 by the Andinos FC. 333 completed for the Cobras, 170 by Andinos, 82% passing percentage for West Coast Cobras, 71 for Andinos. And the possession, we have 55.5% possession for the West Coast Cobras, 44.5% for the Andinos FC, with 36 total shots for the West Coast Cobras and 24 total shots for the Andinos FC, which I would have expected the shots stats to have a little bit more of a disparate between them. The West Coast Cobras had a lot more possession, so you would think they would get a lot more shots off than the Andino side, but only achieving about 11, 12 extra shots. And of course, shots on target 26-16. And goals, 4 goals to the West Coast Cobras, 6 goals to the Andinos FC. Thank you for joining us. We will be back with, I think, another men's Supa-Liga match at 6:30. Thank you.